When you first click on the link in ALEKS, you'll either need to sign up as a new student and create an account, or if you remember your login from prior times, just click Login. If you've never used McGraw-Hill ALEKS program before, you will need to create an account. When you log into ALEKS, you won't see this screen, you'll just see the course that you'll need to click on. I'm going to enter Student View, so this will be what you see whenever you log in to the course or when you click on the course. The very first time you log in, it'll take you through a tutorial, and I am going to skip the tooltips. That's always an option. It's pretty self-explanatory when you log in what you need to do. It's going to force you to do a tools tutorial, or at least open it, and then you can hit skip tutorial. Then you'll want to continue, and the very first thing it's going to prompt you to do after you do the tutorials is to start a knowledge check. This knowledge check consists of a whole bunch of different types of statistical questions which you may or may not know how to do. And if you don't know how to do any problems, that's fine. I don't assume you know anything whenever you come into ALEKS. So you can read the screen if this is your first time using ALEKS, or just start the knowledge check. And it's going to take you through several problems, and the more you get right, the more problems it's going to ask you to do. You want to do as well as possible on this because you will get credit for completing assignments based on any prior knowledge that you have. If you don't know how to do a problem, you can click I don't know, but if you do that, that means that that's a topic that you're going to be expected to know how to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip the knowledge check and show you what it'll look like if you have a moderate knowledge of some statistics topics. If you have a moderate knowledge, you'll see this pie right here has already been partially filled in with some topics. Those are the topics that you've already received credit for doing. Then when you hit continue, you can get started along your path for learning. If you need to access assignments, you can hit the hamburger up there. This is called a hamburger. You can click on the hamburger and then goes directly to the assignments. You can filter the assignments by modules or tests or homework. And then view by date range. Because this course only lasts 2 weeks, let's go ahead and click all of them, and then just click anywhere off of that menu bar in order to open this up. Some assignments do have prerequisites, so that means that you'll have to complete that prerequisite, and you can't do this prerequisite because it also has a prerequisite, so you say okay. So the best thing to do is to go back to the home screen and click Start My Path. The first screen that opens up is kind of like a lesson. It's a practice page. Don't spend time working on the start page. You can read through the start page to get an understanding or help you understand what's going on in that module. But if you watch my lecture videos, you will be prepared for the work that you're expected to do inside the module. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. Be sure you read the problems carefully and then select your answers. You've got to answer 3 questions in a row correctly in order to be able to move on to the next module. So I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. The population consists of everything, and a sample is a subset of a group. Parameters go with populations, and samples have statistics. Since this says all the hospital's flu-stricken patients, that's going to be a parameter. All would be a parameter, and then something from a random sample would be a statistic. So as you can see, I got 1 question correct. Now we're going to move on to the next question. The population would be all. The sample would be the random selection. So since this first one's from a sample, it would be a statistic. This is from a sample, so it would be a statistic. And then this says all the TVs, so that would be the population parameter. And now you can see I got the second question correct. And on that question, they give me credit for 2 because I got 2 correct in a row. Then we would go to the next question. The population would be all. The sample would come from the sample. Because this says all, this would be a parameter. Because this says all, this would also be a parameter, and then this is from the random group, that would be a statistic. When you get the third question correct, it gives you credit for the next 2. Then when you hit next, it's going to say, yay, congratulations, keep it up. I've now completed that topic, or I got credit for getting 2 topics complete, and then say continue on my path. If you want to see what topic it is that you're working on, hit this drop down menu and it'll tell you what it is that you're working on. If you get stuck on something and you want to skip around, this is where you could skip around. But I'm going to go back here. If you want to read the explanation, feel free to read the explanation, but guys, only do that through at least the first 4 chapters, maybe 5. Once you get to chapter 7 for sure and on, you do not want to read these because they're going to show you a much more difficult way to solve problems than what I do in the lecture videos. So remember, if you want to read the start page to get an idea of what's going on inside each module, that's fine, but I don't force you to use these general formulas like this. In the lecture videos that I have in Brightspace, I teach you how to use the graphing calculator. I encourage you to use notes on everything, so what I would want to see you do is go ahead and use the graphing calculator. There's only one assignment out of all of the assignments that we have where you'll need to use the ALEKS calculator. If you get stuck on a problem, you can either watch an ALEKS video or go back to my videos. You can look in the ebook or look in your lecture notes. Do not use the message center. If you have trouble with a problem, go ahead and text me. If you're unable to progress through a module and you think it's taking too much time, it probably is. If that's the case, send me a text or give me a call and request a Zoom meeting. You can find the link to my Zoom meeting on the homepage in Brightspace by going down here and just clicking on this personal ID number, and that opens Zoom. But don't open Zoom unless you've texted me or called me and asked me to join you in the Zoom room. I don't just hang out in the Zoom room all day long waiting for students to drop in, but I'm happy to join as long as I'm awake. So usually that's good until 10 p.m. at night or after 7 a.m. in the morning. Don't worry about calling or texting late. If you're stuck at 2 a.m. and you need help, go ahead and send me a text, and when I wake up, I'll get back to you. Sometimes I wake up at 4 a.m., so sometimes I sleep in. It just depends. If you want to quit working on a module and you've completed enough assignments to where the homework is open, then you can click on the homework. Once you start a homework assignment, you have unlimited attempts in order to get a problem correct. If you get stuck or if you miss a problem after you submit your assignment, when you go in to retake the assignment, you can retake it and it'll give you credit for the problems that you already got correct, and you'll only have to rework the problems that you got incorrect. That's true for the exams as well. You're allowed unlimited attempts on homework, but on exams, let me scroll down to an exam. Well, it's not going to let me see it since I didn't do the prerequisite. Yeah, it's not going to let me see it. But on exams, you're allowed 2 attempts on an exam. So the first time you take a test, do the best you can, use your notes. If you're not sure about something, try anyway, and then after you submit your exam, it'll give you a grade. When you retake your exam, you'll already have credit for the problems that you got correct. You'll only have to redo the problems that you miss. Once you take an exam, one of the buttons at the bottom will say View Report. Click on that to see what problems you missed. Figure out what you did wrong and then try and get them right the next time. If you don't know what you did wrong or why you missed a problem, that would be a good time to reach out to me to Zoom so that I can go over your exam with you. However, if you know what you did wrong, go ahead and retake the exam. I keep the best score, so you have nothing to lose by trying to improve your grades. ALEKS will become more intuitive the more you work with it. You can always get back to this home screen by hitting the hamburger and navigating. If you've already completed a homework assignment and you want to review it, what you can do is not go to the ALEKS gradebook. By the way, the ALEKS gradebook is not your official course grade. Your official course grade is located in Brightspace. If you've already taken an assignment and you want to review it, go to the assignment list and then click on the score. Well, this is true only for homework and exams. If you click on the score in the assignment list, it'll let you review a past homework and assignment that you've already completed. On your assignment list, this is showing what level of mastery you have. If a knowledge check comes up while you're working on the course, do the best you can on that knowledge check, because any problems that you miss over material that we've already gone over, you'll see this number drop under the assignment list, but your grade will never drop. But it may force you to redo some problems out of that assignment. It looks like I earned a 75 on this, and that's probably due to material that I already learned during the initial knowledge check. The more you work with ALEKS, the easier it will be. Like I said, reach out to me if you have any trouble, when you have any trouble, if you think you're spending too much time. Many masters move way too fast for you to spend hours and hours and hours trying to get past one module. Sometimes it's just a minor mistake. Read the questions carefully, and that will help you do better whenever you're working the problems. I hope you like ALEKS. And if you have any trouble, let me know. Thank you.